Jackson. You can also watch us live on SEMO ESPN.com. Coach Brad Korn joining us this afternoon. Coach, good to see you.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for filling in.
Happy to fill in. My name is Ryan Tan. I'm filling in for Eric Shawn this afternoon. I get to come off the bench. I'm the official sixth man of the coach's show. It's fun to do these coming off of wins, not just one win, but a pair of wins the last couple of games. What's the attitude with the squad right now that you're 3-3 in conference?
Yeah, obviously, we played very well. We've gotten better on the defensive side of the ball. Just checking statistics this morning, just where we're at in conference play, and obviously offense hasn't necessarily been our problem this season. We're a pretty good offensive team. We shoot the three pretty well. We get to the foul line. We're a pretty good free throw shooting team. So we've done some good things offensively. We just had to pick up the other side of the ball defensively, and that's something that we really made a commitment to when we went on a pause, and really were able to get in back into the dirt, so to speak, and just get down to the basics of what we really needed to do. And again, I keep saying, but you have to give our guys credit for making that commitment to want to do that, because defense isn't necessarily sometimes a systematic or a schematic thing. It's more of a lot of effort and desire to be able to do that consistently. And so we got back to that, and our guys took to that and understood it, accepted it, and I think that we're seeing the fruits of that come these last couple games, and we've got to carry that on Thursday, because it's going to be a great test for us.
Yeah, to your point, the team held Tennessee State to 39% from the field Thursday night. That was an 85-63 win over Tennessee State. You talked about the pause. The team had lost to Tennessee State about 12 days earlier. You had the pause. You came back, and with about 8 minutes to go in the first half, you were down 21-12. But then something happened. You came out of that TV timeout, outscored them 29-13 the rest of the half, and then pulled away the rest of the game. What was it? Was it from the defensive end? Was it your guys getting down in the dirt, as you said, and really stopping them defensively?
Yeah, I think that was the main thing, because as you said, the first 5 to 8 minutes of that game, it wasn't going particularly well. It didn't look very good. It was like, oh boy, here we go again. Kind of just the feel and the vibe. But again, give our guys credit, because we were doing the right things. They were just making shots early, and so we stayed consistent with our effort, with what we were trying to do, and then it started to take root, and it really showed for the rest of that half, and then obviously into the second half, and they could never get their footing again. Tennessee State couldn't. So again, we didn't hit a panic button when it didn't go well for the first 5 or 6 minutes. We stayed the course with it, stayed disciplined, stayed tough, stayed committed to what we were trying to do. And then obviously it carried over, and it gave us energy in other ways that we weren't getting. And I thought maybe early in the conference season we were just so driven by our offense and hoping that would give us some energy on defense. And in that game in particular, I don't think that we did that. I think that we were committed to what we were trying to do. We knew what the problem was. We addressed it, and they stayed committed to that. And then you saw it take hold the last 30 minutes of that game, and then carried on over into Saturday as well.
The old adage is that defense always travels, meaning offense doesn't necessarily travel, but you guys shot 57% from the field against Tennessee State. It did carry over. So when you guys played Eastern Illinois, you shot, 49% from the field, 43% from the three-point line. The offense has been traveling this year. Why is that?
I don't know, other than the fact that we have good players. We shoot a lot of threes, but I think that they're, particularly in the Eastern Illinois game, we shot I think it was 35 threes, if I'm not mistaken, or 30 some, which is a lot. But during the game, I was even talking to the assistants during the game, and even going back and watching it, I never thought that any of them were bad threes. And so if it's what you can do, and if it's the right shot, and when you have 27 assists on 31 made field goals, the ball's moving in the right spot. So when you're open, you have to shoot that shot. And there's not guys on our team where when we shoot it, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did he shoot that shot? So it's again, to me, those are the right shots, the right plays for the roster that we have, the players that we have, and they work on their shot, and it's part of what we do. And so if we can be tough on defense and have the correct spacing and low turnovers, which is what we've had the last 2 games as well, again, it leads into our assist numbers, our scoring numbers, all of those things, add on top of one another. And again, we took the right type of shots, and I think that we have the right type of players to take those right types of shots.
And the results were certainly there on the scoreboard. Southeast beat Eastern Illinois 87-58. The 29-point win is the largest OVC road win in program history. When you heard that, was it surprising? At what point do you go, really?
Yeah, as soon as they said it, I was like, really? Because I think you get wrapped up in the game, and I'm so wrapped up in our team and how we're playing in each possession, not necessarily the scoreboard. And I think one play in particular, late in the second half, we turned it over and we had nobody sprint back. And I called timeout and took everybody out because we have done that before. And I don't want us to play the scoreboard. I want us to play us. We have to play us and the game of basketball. And you can continually do that and continue to get better no matter who you are. And Chase, who's going to come on here hopefully later in the show, during those timeouts, when you felt like the game was kind of in hand, especially with 6 minutes to go, obviously they're not probably coming back at that point, but it's continuing to get better and using that as for Chase, continue to play post D because now on Thursday you got to face Janai Broom, one of the best bigs in the conference, and so it's all those learning and teaching moments for us to continue to get better, not just play in one singular moment or have one singular game. We had done that all year. We haven't played or won 2 Division I games in a row up until this weekend. So it's continuing to show progress, continue to get better so we can make a run and not just have an up and a down type of a year in which we had to this point. We go and we beat Missouri State and play a great game, but then we come back home and fall flat against Youngstown. And so it's being able to be more consistent, show maturity, show growth in our team, and I think that we did that.
Is that really one of the signs of a team growing is how they're performing when they're up by that much? They keep their intensity up. You guys won by 22 points and by 29 points the last 2 games. How do you keep the team focused on doing the things that are right instead of looking at that scoreboard?
It's human nature.
Right.
I think that's why we had some guys not run back. But again, it's those moments of instead of just letting it go by or be like, it's okay, we're all happy because we're up by 25 on the road and we're going to win. It's like, no, let's understand what this is about the future and about where the rest of the season can go, because we have let some games, in my opinion, go early in the season that we could have. Our record could be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, your record is what your record is. Those teachable, correctable moments. But again, give our guys credit. And I just told them we just got finished with workouts. Give them credit for accepting that and understanding that and taking that coaching and then being able to apply it to the games. So there really hasn't been anything new that we've done systematically or a scheme or anything. It's just been more commitment to that and then applying what you know and playing at a level of a toughness. I told the guys after the Eastern Illinois game in the locker room that every year a team, you're always forming and becoming and creating your identity of what you are. And I think that these last 12 days of practice, the last 2 games have really become what we thought we could have been, can be, and so you're continually moving towards what you want to be at the end of the season when you play your best basketball. So to me, that's what's been the most encouraging is our guys have accepted that, understood that, and then applied it.
Yeah, you were kind of going where I was to my next question, which is Bill Parcells famously said you are what your record says you are, but the team that we've seen the last couple of games isn't necessarily the team we saw in maybe early December or late November. So which team is it, and how much growth do you see with this squad?
I see a lot. I see that we saw it in moments early up until we've been the most consistent now this past week, and again we saw it in moments throughout the regular season or in the non-conference schedule, but too many ups and downs or too many playing at a level of a scoreboard or playing at the level of our offense instead of just playing and being committed to both sides of the ball all the time. And so I think that this is who we are. And I think this is who we'll be going forward. Does that mean you're going to win every game by 20 points? Probably not. But the way in which we play, I think, is the most important thing. And I think this is the way that we will play, regardless of what the scoreboard says. We always talk about that you surrender we've surrendered the outcome of all games. You can't control what the outcome is. You control everything that leads up to that outcome. And so I think this can be what we are and how we play going forward.
This is the Red Hawks Coaches Show, live from Wings Etc. in Jackson. We are talking with SEMO men's basketball coach Brad Korn, and here at Wings Etc., award-winning jumbo wings, popular for both dine-in and carry-out, famous for the appetizer lineup, including the ultimate nachos and spicy deep-fried pickle chips. Daily half-pound lunch specials start at just $7.99. So, mentioned earlier that Chase Thompson is going to be coming on a little bit later. Do you have a quick Chase story? Do you have something that stands out when somebody says Chase Thompson's name to you?
Chase is, I always say you got to give our guys a lot of credit. I think you have to give Chase Thompson a lot of credit too. It was not, he battled some injury things. He battled a little illness. It's been an up and down year. He, just like anybody, he wants to play. And so it wasn't going well for him necessarily from a playing a lot standpoint. But obviously you go down Nate, you go down Sam, Manny didn't play, and now he kind of was just thrust into a role right away. And everybody says that they're ready for that until you're ready for that. And I think everything got him to the point to be ready for it, and he's really taken that and played well, and really you see some signs of what he can be. You know, he's one of the strongest guys on the team. He doesn't look like it, but at the end of the day, he's still a freshman, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And you look at him and Phil and Dylan and Sam and Adam Larson; those guys are all freshmen. So you have a very, very good core group of freshman guys. But again, because of his physical stature, you don't think of him as a freshman. Because he went to junior college a year ago, you don't think of him as a freshman. So just everybody comes along at different points in the season. And when his number was called, when we got down guys, he's really performed. But I think more than anything is he's taken a different approach to practice. And obviously what you do in practice is going to bleed over into the games. And we've tried to make in our pause the practice is harder than the games. And so now when you get into those games, everything moves a little bit slower for you, and it's a little bit easier. And I think that's what's happened for Chase.
So you mentioned you had a workout this morning. Did you have practice this morning, or is it
those
the same things? Or
no, those aren't the same things.
Okay, so I was going to say, how does practice look after those two wins?
So we were off yesterday,
right?
Just with the rules and everything else, and it's good to just give the guys a day to just break away, and coaches too. But today we stuck. I kind of went back with the smaller groups that we had during the pause, because obviously if it's not broke, don't fix it. And it seemed to have been working for us, and our guys seem to enjoy it. And we have some guys coming back to the team that are a little bit banged up or coming out of an illness, so it's like they're on a little bit of a different schedule or a time frame. So it's let those guys work out, but still be in the gym with other people and trying to stick with that team camaraderie. So we just went back to the small groups and had two good workouts earlier in the morning, just the way the class schedule falls, and with Coach Patterson and the women's program coordinating schedule. So our block is a little bit earlier than it was last semester, so we just stuck with the two smaller group workouts, and it's been good. And then we'll just dive in a little bit more team-oriented practices Tuesday and Wednesday.
We'll bring you back a little bit later, and we'll talk about the big game against Morehead State coming up later this week. Up next, Nate Severino from the Red Hawks Athletic Department joins us to talk about some of the big promotions that are coming up with the men's and women's basketball games. You are listening to the Red Hawks Coaches Show live from Wings Etc. here on SEMO ESPN 93.5 FM. Jackson. I am Ryan Tate. Joining me now is Nate Severino with the Red Hawks Athletic Department. Nate, thanks a lot for joining us.
Absolutely. Happy to be on and excited to be here.
We were just talking. You were a big Chiefs fan. We were just talking about the game
yeah.
yesterday. You doing all right? Your blood's good? Heart
I'm
okay?
finally starting to recover. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck happened last night, but
Well,
it was a heck of a game. It was wild.
Yeah, now you get now the Bengals get to come to Arrowhead for the AFC Championship game. Words I never actually thought I would ever say.
No kidding.
But we've got a lot going on this week with Red Hawks basketball, specifically the games Thursday night against Morehead State. Let's talk about what are some of those things that fans can expect when they come out to the Show Me Center.
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited about really all the games that we have back at home. The men have been playing really well at home, protecting the home court. I know that's something that they're proud of. But really, we've had this game on Thursday scheduled or kind of circled on the calendar for a while because the men will be playing on ESPNU. So nationally televised game on ESPNU. This is the first time we've been on national television, and I can't remember how long. I know Jeff Hansa probably knows it off the top of his head, sitting back there, but. So it's a really great opportunity for us as an athletic department, as a university, to put a good show out there and show them what SEMO basketball is all about, show them what the Show Me Center is all about and what it can be. So a couple things that we've got going on Thursday. So Thursday is going to be a whiteout. So we need all of our fans to wear white, fill the stands. Of course, white shirts on top of those red seats will make a really good pop on TV. Need the fans to come out, fill the Show Me Center, bring some energy, bring some juice. I know I see Chase nodding his head back there. It makes a difference, and that's part of the reason why we play so well at home. I mean, we've got, I watch all these games on the road too, and look around, and certainly we want more fans in the stands. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, we do well. I mean, we draw better crowds than what they're seeing at Eastern Illinois and other places around the league. I've seen some of these other games on the road. I know I had an opportunity to be out at Pepperdine, and I mean, they were just letting people in. They didn't even check my ticket. Well, they gave me a COVID test, but they didn't check my ticket.
It's surprising people are actually wanting to go to a game at Pepperdine. There's not that there's anything else to do at Pepperdine. There's nothing else to do or see at Pepperdine University.
No, but we're really excited. So it's going to be a whiteout on Thursday. We need everybody to wear white. Bring a friend. Let's fill the stands for national TV. But something else that we're really excited about is we're going to be starting with Thursday's game. We're going to be starting a music series, actually. So this is just kind of a vision that we had a couple years ago, and I just figured why not now. But we play doubleheaders for all of our home conference games, and there's always that time between games where you're just kind of milling around, and maybe there's not a lot to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to have live music up on the concourse between games of the doubleheader. So we're actually starting on Thursday, actually with River Radio's very own Mike Rennick is going to be playing live music.
I've heard of him.
Yep. And so we partnered with the Scout, Rust Media, and the Scout, and the stuff that they're doing with local musicians, and of course the Shipyard Festival in the fall. So we've got 5 dates remaining this season where we're going to have a live local artists play live music up on the concourse. We're calling it Scout Sessions Live, and just adding a little bit of additional entertainment for our fans. So you can come out, you buy a ticket to the basketball game, you get live sports, you get live music. I mean, what can be a better night out than that? So we're kicking it off on Thursday with Mike Rennick. On this Saturday, we're going to have Gunnar Knudsen between games. And then we've got Logan Chapman coming on February 5th. February 12th, we've got Jason Heater. And then Logan Chapman's actually coming back again on February 26th to close it out. So we're really excited about that. Just kind of a new little added element, added value for our fans to have a great time and make, the Show Me Center on a basketball night. We want to make it the place to be. We want to make it a place that you can come out, have a great time. You get great value for your great entertainment value for your dollar, and above all else, cheer on the Red Hawks and hopefully see a couple wins on Thursday.
Yeah, it's the other night at the Tennessee State game, I believe the announcer came over, the next game will start in like 35 minutes. And then it's like, well, what do you do? now we have something to do. We can go up to the concourse, listen to some live music, keep that energy that we have from whoever plays the first game to whoever plays the second game. And it's such a great idea. I saw it on the jumbotron the other night, and I thought, this is great. This is going to work out really well.
Yeah, I mean it's a good opportunity. Live sports and one of the cool things about going out to the Show Me Center is it's a social event. Like, you want to see people, you want to be seen, right? And so that's just another opportunity. You can get out of your seat, stretch the legs a little bit, go to the concession stand, maybe grab a cold beverage and listen to some live music and see one another, visit with one another, and have a great time. And that's what we want it to be. We want it to be fun and exciting, and then get back to your seats and bring the energy for the guys in the men's game.
We've seen a whiteout game be very successful at the college ranks with Penn State University. That's obviously the standard bearer for it. So what is the best way for someone to get tickets for Thursday night's game where we're going to have a whiteout against Morehead State?
Yeah, so the best way to get tickets is online, and actually something we've done different and new this year is actually it's cheaper to buy tickets if you buy them online in advance with the fees than it is if you walk up. So we want people to buy tickets in advance online. You can download them straight to your phone, just like a airline boarding pass or just like a Cardinals game. So SEMORedHawks.com/tickets. You can get your tickets online, download it to your phone, and then we just scan your phone at the gates. We've taken a big jump into the 21st century here at SEMO. So we want people to get tickets that way. It's easy. It's pain-free. You get to skip the line out in the cold. You don't have to wait in the cold, wait in line to walk up and pay that way. So that's the easiest way. SEMORedHawks.com/tickets.
I'm looking forward to it. It sounds like a great event on Thursday night with the whiteout. And then with the music starting up, this is going to be fantastic as well. I know most of us know a lot of the local artists who are going to be performing, and they're all great.
Well, and we couldn't start it with anybody.
And I'm not just saying that because somebody's sitting in the room.
We
that's
couldn't
actually
start
performing.
it with anybody better but Mike. So, and on Thursday too, we actually have a little bit of extra time between games because that men's game is going to start at 8 o'clock instead of just 30 minutes after the women's game. So there will be probably a 40-45 minute set for Mike to play and a couple extra. We didn't tell him that, so he's got to work on his set list and add a couple extra tunes to it.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Nate, thanks a lot for joining us. Coming up, we talk to Chase Thompson, freshman on the men's basketball team here at Southeast Missouri State. You are listening to the Red Hawks Coaches Show live from Wings Etc. in Jackson. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Etc. in Jackson. You can also watch us live on SEMO ESPN.com. Wings Etc. The dining rooms are filled with lots of HD TVs tuned into the best sports programming, including the NFL ticket. Comfortable, laid-back atmosphere, offering great food and friendly service. And if you haven't done anything for lunch today and you've gotten that thought in your head, where am I going to eat lunch? Come on out with daily half-pound lunch specials starting at just $7.99. Joining us now, Chase Thompson, freshman forward for Southeast Missouri State's men's basketball team. Chase, thanks a lot for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
How's your first year been here at Southeast?
It's been crazy. Obviously, we had a pretty good start to the year, beating Missouri State and tried to build on the momentum. And unfortunately, we lost a few that we shouldn't have, but we are back on track. We feel good, refreshed. Look like a new team out there, I feel like.
So what's the atmosphere been like in the locker room? What's the attitude been like of the team, especially in the last week or so?
It seems like now, before we were like, dang, we got to go to practice today, and we were starting to attack our practices a lot. Intensity has been a lot better. Coach Corn has been a great help getting us into good shape, and I feel like that's part of the reason why we have been playing offense and defense a lot better. It's because our intensity of our practices has changed. People look forward to going there every day. And I know the way I've looked at it has changed big time from even just 2 weeks ago. So
you've gotten a lot of run the last few games. 16 minutes, first game against Tennessee State. 17 last Thursday night. 23 the other night against Eastern Illinois. How much fun is it to be out on the floor and get that much run?
It's fun, especially playing with the group of guys I'm playing with, because the way we are playing right now is we're moving the ball. We're defending better than we have ever defended. We are in gaps. We are talking to each other. We're happy to defend. You should see our bench reactions when we get turnovers now compared to just a few weeks ago. It's been amazing, and to just get the opportunity to play, that's what all I'm really looking for, and that's the reason why I came here, of course. So it's been great to not only play but get some wins. It's been real good.
You said the words happy to defend. Most basketball players don't say those words, but it is so important about the mentality of playing defense. So what has flipped for you guys to where you enjoy that mentality to play defense?
We have started to realize that our defense turns into offense. And when we have defended well, other teams get really, really frustrated, and they don't want to defend. So once we tire them out on defense like we have the past few games, we have turned those into quick points. I don't remember the exact stat, but we are definitely beating teams' points off turnovers the last few games, 100%. And it's been fun when you see guys that are normally just are really good scorers getting in a good defensive stance and locking up and clapping and being happy that we're forcing turnovers. It's been amazing.
Let's talk a little bit about you.
Sure.
Last year you played for Western Nebraska Community College before coming here to Southeast. What's the transition been like playing community college basketball to playing Division I basketball?
That initial time, that summer where I first came here, was a shock. The intensity is way different. As much as I love JUCO, and I know there's great players in JUCO, there's nothing compares to moving from JUCO to Division I because the pace of the game is a lot faster. Also, it's getting used to playing with guys that are also Division I guys. We have a lot of older guys, and they know a lot of things about Division I basketball that I don't know yet, and I'm learning. And that's the reason why I feel like I've started to buy in more, is because I'm learning. And I would say the biggest change, though, is that even in high school, AAU, I've been a scorer, and it's learning all right, we have guys right now that are better scorers than I am right now, and trying to figure out where I fit in with my role. That was the biggest change, and I've started to learn what I need to do. And because of that, I've been able to help our team the last few games. So.
Is it a frustrating change to go from being a scorer your whole life? I'm sure since you had a basketball in your hand, you were leaned on to score points to maybe transition to doing something else for the basketball team to help them win. Has it been tough?
At first, it was tough. Only reason it was tough before is because I don't feel like as a team before we were bottoming that in defense. And because everybody's buying in, it's becoming less tough because everybody's starting to sacrifice. And when you see other guys sacrifice, it makes it a lot easier. It's like, okay, if he's willing to go to war for me, I'm going to go to war for him. And you can just feel it now. You can feel it. And it's been easy the last few games. I had 0 points the last game, and I don't care. I made sure I got rebounds and passed the ball, and we won the game. And that's all that matters to me now. So, but it was tough. It was tough because being the primary guy is a lot different than being I mean, even a 6th, 7th option or the 5th option on the floor. It's different, but you learn and you adjust.
Yeah, you stuffed the stat sheet without having any points in the scoring column, and that's really good to do. So, what was your recruitment like? When did Southeast get on your radar?
It was actually funny. They were my first offer out of JUCO. They offered me before I played a game in JUCO, and I remember that call perfectly because I was in a workout, and my trainer told me I could leave to take the call, and man, they made my day. I'm not gonna lie. And I knew it was the right fit because there's a lot of schools. JUCO's a weird circuit because you get most of your looks at the end of the year because in Division I they never know, especially with the transfer portal now, guys are leaving and going different places during the season. So they came in. They were the first school to offer me before I played a game. Basically, when I enrolled, they talked to my coach, and ever since then, I've had really tight conversations with them. They have recruited me so much, and even though there was a lot of schools recruiting me, I knew that when it came time, the season was over last year in JUCO, this is the right fit.
What impressed you the most?
The coaches.
Yeah.
They, I didn't get to take visits, and the coaches, the relationship I have with the coaches. Of course, we bump heads all the time, but I feel like if you don't bump heads, you guys don't want it enough. So it's been great because I've had, even when I was being recruited, Coach Yoder, me and him were like friends. We weren't even, it didn't even feel like he was recruiting me, trying to pitch me. It felt like, he was just checking on me every single day. And that's what I love about these guys. They always check in on us, even if it's just something little. They're always in our ear trying to make sure that we're not always thinking about basketball, but thinking about being happy in life too. So.
How much has your game changed from your year last year at JUCO to where it is now?
It's changed a lot because in JUCO, I'm not going to lie, most of the time I'm just sitting around the three-point line waiting for the ball, and then I go make a play. Here, it's just like, okay, how can I impact the game without the ball? And that's what I've been learning. I feel like that's the reason why my minutes have gone up is because I'm learning to impact the game without the basketball. And I feel like those are the teams that win games that have guys like, man, all of us really, we're all doing dirty work now. So, I mean, that's what I am trying to do is now learning how to impact the game even more. I know I'm doing it right now, but I feel like that can even bring it to a higher extent. Just learn to take 6 rebounds to 10 rebounds, and stuff like that.
Did you be honest? Did you ever think the dirty work would be considered glamorous?
No, but but it is glamorous for us now because it's the way we look at it. I feel like it's all about perspective, And I never thought about that just because I haven't been the guy doing the dirty work my whole life. But it's about perspective, and our coaches have been really good at drilling that for us the last few weeks. And changing your perspective on things can change your whole life. So I feel like because I changed my perspective, we are becoming a better team first of all, but I'm becoming a better player too.
So what are you working on now? What parts of your game do you look at it? You see yourself either on tape or it's not even tape anymore. Recordings of yourself.
Yeah.
What are you working on?
Shooting the ball. Funny thing is, I was over 40% 3-point shooter in high school, and even in JUCO, I shot over 40 for a while in the season. And I know I can make shots, but I've also been working on my post moves because I am not a guy that's posted up a lot. And I've been playing small ball 5 for us, and it's been working, especially the fast few games because I am being aggressive on defense. I am rebounding. And I started scoring on the post against Tennessee State, which I was trying to get more confidence day by day.
And they got some grown dudes down low.
Oh,
I mean, they really do.
Every time we play them, it's a fight.
Yeah.
It's a fight because they are, even though they don't have the most skilled guys all the time, they got guys with some skill, but they have a lot of guys with a lot of heart, and they are. I feel like the best thing we did that game was take the heart out of them because we are so relentless, not only with our energy but our effort and our defense. So.
Yeah, and the refs, I think, could sense it too. I think there was 10 fouls called in the first 4.5 minutes of the second half. I looked up and I'm like, oh, really? It's going to be one of these second halves?
It's tough because we play so aggressive, and now it's weird because we're aggressive but being solid. Before we were being aggressive, being loose, reaching with the wrong hand, trying to get out in gaps and get steals. Instead, we're being more solid. And we still have moments where we break down, but we're going to get those fouls, unfortunately. But limiting those fouls is how we're going to win games because, unfortunately for us, a lot of the year, people have shot more free throws than us because we fouled a lot more. But bringing that down is definitely going to be the key to us beating the best teams in the league. Not just beating some teams that no offense to Tennessee State, they are a good team, They are solid, but we know who we have to be if we want to accomplish our goal at the end of the year.
Coach mentioned the contributions, a lot of the young dudes on the team. There are a lot of young players on this team.
Yeah.
You, Phillip, Dylan. There are a lot of young players. Is it fun to have a lot of young dudes on the team, knowing that you guys are building to something, maybe something special down the road?
Yeah, it's really fun because we're starting to realize that not only do we have a chance this year to do something special, that if we keep doing what we're supposed to do and have the same mentality all the time, we're going to carry this over to next year and the year after that. And who knows what we can do. Actually, I will say who knows. We know what we can do. We know the potential we have. And I feel like if we keep this group together throughout this year, and our older guys are a big help. They help me learn so much. They are talking to me, making sure I am keeping my head up. I never get down on myself. But playing with a group of young guys that is really nice because you realize that, man, I got these guys for a while. It's not just they're not leaving me next year. So.
And as a fan, we think the same thing. We're happy to see the fact, hey, this is a good group of young players, a nice nucleus to build from. And, a couple years from now, you're going to be an old dude.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy because I think about
it goes fast. Believe me, Chase, it goes fast.
I think about that all the time. And what I'm really trying to do is my dad has always told me, leave a place better than what you came into it. Leave a place better than what you came into it. And my goal is when I leave here that, hopefully we have a couple OVC championships. So that's the goal. I got a couple of them. That's the goal.
Wait, the Show Me Center needs more banners.
Oh,
so,
no, we need.
Let's face it.
We need some more banners, and I think that with this staff and this mentality that we got now, it's inevitable. We just got to keep pushing.
That's right. Keep pushing. Chase, thanks a lot for joining us. You are listening to the Red Hawks Coaches Show live from Wings Etc. in Jackson on SEMO ESPN 93.5 FM. Live at Wings Etc. in Jackson. Coach Brad Korn joining us again. Coach, you listened to Chase talk a little bit earlier. He certainly seems excited about the direction of the team, about the group of guys he's got around him, and that's got to be pretty exciting for you.
Yeah, everything, Ryan, takes time, unfortunately. I know in college athletics and sports in general, we want everything right now, and why can't everybody win? Why aren't you undefeated? All those types of things. But it does take time, and, you got to just keep watering the bamboo is that old adage and old saying that we have. And I think that we're going about it the right way. I think we have the right guys in the locker room. But, again, it takes time. And as much as you may want to force something early on in the season or what you think you can become because you see the potential, until you get to that point to where everyone is on that same page, that same line, you're going to probably have some ups and downs. So it sounds like the locker room is where it needs to be. And, again, it comes down to those guys. I just told the guys again today after workouts, I appreciate them because they allowed us to coach them in a different way and get pushed and not turn and revert against coaching and accepting that and looking themselves in the mirror and then really doing something about it, because you can tell someone something all you want. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So it really doesn't matter how much you know. It's how much people want to believe in where you're trying to go, and as many people as you can get behind that to drive it forward, the better off that it's going to be. And I think, unfortunately, it took some of those losses, some of those moments for us to get to that point, but I think that is behind us, and now we can move forward to where we can ultimately go and be as a team this year and into the future, as he mentioned.
And moving forward, you've got a lot of big teams on the schedule, starting Thursday night against Morehead State. They're undefeated in the conference. Currently, they're at 6-0. So what are you guys going to have to do to win?
Everything. Quite honestly, they're a very good team.
They're good.
They don't beat themselves. They're physical. They're tough. They have a unique style defensively. They're big kid, Janai Broom. He hedges ball screens, so he's going to go all the way out to the half-court line and try to stop the basketball from getting to the middle of the floor. And they switch 1 through 4. They're physical. They play a slower style offensively than we do. So really it's just going to be a conflict of both styles. And styles make fights, and so it'll be an interesting game. We had great battles with them last year, 3 very physical, tough games. We were right there in the end. Obviously, they ultimately won the conference tournament, but it was a 2-possession basketball game under the 4-minute media. So we were right there. Our guys know that. But I think more than anything, more than just words, I think our guys are starting to understand the nuances that go into winning in order to win those types of games. Just because you were close last year doesn't mean anything this year. How are you going to beat them? How are you going to be able to do that for a 40-minute basketball game, not just for 40 segments or 40 possessions? How can you do that throughout the duration of the game? And so I think that's where we're getting to as a team and understanding how to win basketball games. And it's going to be a tough battle. And for us to be able to have that opportunity at home on ESPNU, all the factors that go into that, the buildup of it. But I think, again, we're at a point now in our team with our season to where if there was nobody in the stands, if there was nothing on TV, we would come out and play the exact same way. So hopefully it gives us a little extra boost. People come out and support the team and support these guys, and it gives us that extra boost. And so now if the game is late or close late, we can finish and push through and keep that home court advantage that we've had.
How important is it to get that boost from the crowd?
It's huge. Again, obviously, when you recruit guys like Chase and everybody else, and they come in and see the facilities, and we talk about the Show Me Center in our town, and what we're trying to do with our locker room and the program and moving everything forward. Now when they come here and see that, because really at the end of the day, Ryan, our best recruiters are our current players. Everybody tells them all the great things in recruiting, but now when you come on campus and our players are telling you as parents or telling you as a recruit how it is inside our program, that's really who sells our program, is our current players. And so when they can say, hey, we have great fans, a great environment, great facility, that's really what helps snowball and builds the recruiting even better than just coaches saying things, because these kids, that's what they hear all the time from any coach.
Right.
They could be
right.
There could be 0 fans, and that coach is telling them, oh, we've got we sell out, and it's so the more that our players can sell it and make it believable, and it's real, the better off that we're going to be.
Morehead plays tonight against Tennessee State. Will you watch that game live?
I will, and depending upon what's going on at home. I'd still try to be I still try to be a dad as much as I can and try to file. So when I'm home, I try to be a dad for those couple of hours. But then also, too, just the way that I watch film, the way that we watch film, it's so much easier to be able to go back and forth on the rewind as opposed to trying to catch it live and all that. So I will watch it. And obviously, it'll be on the TV. And I talked before with Eric. My wife will watch it. We won't put on any show. She gets it. So that'll be good. It'll be on tonight, and we'll be watching it. But I'll really dive into it later when I can sit back and rewind and take notes and all that type of stuff.
How much will, let's say, tonight's game get into, how quickly will become part of the scouting of what you've looked at of Moorhead earlier in the season? Because teams do change depending on who they play.
Yeah, I think for them it's more for us and them, if that makes any sense. It's how they play defense is unique. So for us today, we're able to still work on what we're going to do offensively against
And you'll
them.
see that tonight against Tennessee State.
And they're really not going to change that much defensively from one game to the next, but it is a unique style, the way that they play defense. So we were able to work a little bit on that today, and that's why I like – at first it took a little adjusting, getting used to the Thursday, Saturday, off Sunday, because then you got obviously Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then you play. And so to be able to break that down and figure that out, we're able to go smaller groups like we mentioned before. And so you're able to break it down a little bit more that way defensively and then put it together a little bit more with more players on Tuesday and then ultimately 5-on-5 or 5 guys on Wednesday, and they really can start to see it at that point. So kind of breaking it down that way. But we're able to work on that now, and that doesn't change from what they do tonight.
And with the way the schedule is broken down, you guys get to lead up to Moorhead State, but then you got to turn right around and get ready for SIUE. Is it tougher that Saturday game because you've had the lead up to the Thursday game, and then you're coming off 40 minutes of playing a really physical team? Is it tough to get them to bounce back for a Saturday game?
You know what? The interesting thing is that I think that it makes you realize, when I was at Kansas State, we were so big on scouting reports and prep and going through every single play. And I think this has made me realize now that more than ever, you have to take care of yourself also at the same time. You can't just worry. I think so many times you worry about your opponent. We worry so much about Moorhead, or we worry so much about Edwardsville that you don't ever take care of SEMO. And it's like I see Chase Thompson every single day. I'm going to see Janai Broom only twice a year. And so am I getting Chase Thompson better to go against Janai Broom? Obviously you have to have a scheme and a scouting report and all that to go against Moorhead and everybody else in the conference. But we also have to make sure that SEMO is getting better every single day as well to go up against that. And if we spend all of our time just on Moorhead or just on Edwardsville, well, then now SEMO's not getting much better. And so I think that's part of it's that delicate balance. But I think at this point in the year, too, when you get into January and February, the hay's in the barn, and you've got to fine-tune and get things in place. But at the same time, these kids – today was our 75th practice, since October or November or whatever it was. So at this point, these guys are hungry for games. You're not really going longer than 2 hours anyway. We went about an hour today. We'll go an hour and a half tomorrow. So you're just kind of fine-tuning some things, and these guys are ready to play. We're
about 5 weeks away from conference tournament time. How much of this is now a sprint? All of this work that you guys have put into these 75 practices before today, leading up to the next 4 or 5 weeks.
It's again, that's what I think is what is encouraging about our team right now is that we're starting to play and develop that identity that we can be to finish because it comes at you fast.
Yeah.
You're going to look up here and a couple more weeks, you're going to have 4 more games under your belt. And so now where are you? You're 500 now. And so there can be a lot of change from week to week. So it is a sprint, but at the same time, you can't look too far down the road because if the second you do, as you just talked about, it's a quick turnaround these games to games. So whatever happens on Thursday night, you can't turn around and let it affect Saturday because each game in and of itself is the most important.
And that's got to be one of the tougher jobs as a coach is to be able to balance that out, but keep them focused on, all right, this is the game we're playing on Thursday, but then not to get caught up in that vacuum of that one game, letting everyone know that, hey, we've got stuff down the road too.
Yeah,
is that hard as a coach?
It is, because especially if you don't maybe particularly play the way that you want to play on that Thursday, and then you got to turn around and again, we played Belmont and it didn't go very well.
Nope.
And then you got one day and you got to play Tennessee State, and that didn't go well. And so do I think we could have played better at Tennessee State if there was more than one day in between? Of course I do, but at the end of the day, you got to play. And the thing about it, too, is if we have ultimate dreams and goals of getting the NCAA tournament, that's exactly how the NCAA tournament is set up. You play Thursday, you play Saturday, you play Friday, you play Sunday. Then you get off. You get 3 days, and then you got to go right back and do it again the following weekend.
That's a good point.
And the conference tournament, it's three games in 3 days, and so you can make all excuses you want. It's more of you've got to understand it and become better for it. And I think that we've done that to this point.
the goals of this team, have they changed any from where it started at the beginning of the year, or are the goals the same now?
We really tried to refine, and I know some people aren't big into goals. We tried to pick 3 goals at the beginning of the year and tried to eliminate some maybe all other stuff, and it didn't. The goals that we had at the beginning of the year, we didn't really execute them in the non-conference. So we haven't really talked about those much since. But we're close on 2 of the 3 that we had to this point, 6 games into our conference season. So I think that the way that we've played, we can continue to reach some of those. And if we reach some of those goals, then at the end, where we fall in the standings or whatnot, or the season, the success that we have in our season can be predicated upon that. So I think we're on track for that, but we haven't really talked much about goals yet this year because, again, we had to get ourselves corrected first, and I think that we've done that.
Well, a big game coming up on Thursday night. Everyone come on out to the Show Me Center. It is a wide-out night. Wear a white shirt of some kind to the game as the Redhawks take on Moorhead State. You have been listening to the SEMO Coaches Show, the Redhawks Coaches Show, live from Wings, etc. Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. We do appreciate it.
All right, good job, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll see you out at the Show Me Center Thursday night. You have been listening to the Redhawks Coaches Show, live here of Wings, etc. in Jackson on SEMO ESPN 93.5 FM.